Stories, community, kids, connection. These four things have been at the center of the Arden's work since day one. August 8th, 1988. From our early beginnings at the Walnut Street studio space, through our move to St. Stephen's Alley, and then finally our home in Old City, the Arden Theatre Company has been a place where the people of Philadelphia gather to participate in great stories by great storytellers. Sometimes the stories are epic, sometimes personal, sometimes silly. Sometimes they reflect our community, and sometimes they evoke a picture of community far away. But each story revels in and reveals what it means to be human. The first story the Arden told was Who Am I This Time? At the 80-seat Walnut Street studio. 2 years later, we opened our first season at St. Stephen's Alley with The Girl with the Silver Eyes, starring Grace Gonglevsky.
The Arden was essential to me cutting my teeth on classics.
From the beginning, the Arden has been committed to the Philadelphia artist. For Who Am I This Time? To this spring's production of Our Town, the Arden's productions have featured, celebrated, and benefited from Philadelphia artists.
Well, I think that one of the things that makes the Arden such a distinct home for so many artists here is that it really has, even from the beginning, really wanted to make sure that it was supporting local artists and casting local actors. And they were really the forerunners of now a lot of theaters, including the Walnut and the Wilma, and a lot of the major theaters here are now casting with local artists. But I think that all started with the Arden, who really were able to start nurturing and keeping talent here, like yours truly.
You know, I went to school here, and at the time it was like Philadelphia wasn't a place that you stayed. You came here to study and then you left, because if you were lucky as a local actor, you could get a walk-on role at the Drama Guild or at the Walnut. But the Arden really pushed Philadelphia performers to the forefront.
In 1995, the Arden bought our home in Old City. Since the Arden arrived on 2nd Street, dozens upon dozens of new restaurants, clubs, shops, and boutiques have opened in the neighborhood. Its presence has helped Old City emerge as one of the region's most popular destinations, and its economic impact on the revitalized neighborhood has been significant. With our spacious new home and growing resources, the Arden could redouble our commitment to two of our chief passions, producing new plays and theater for kids. Since opening, the Arden has introduced 28 brand new plays to our audiences. Six of these new plays were written by celebrated Philadelphia playwright Michael Hollinger.
The fact that you can bank on a world premiere or two in a season is a really great thing, and audiences come to understand that that's part of the package. For some, it's the most exciting part of the package.
The Arden's collaboration with Hollinger began in 1994 with his first full-length play, An Empty Plate in the Café de Grand Bouffe. 5 more followed in the years to come, with his most recent, Opus, opening in January of 2006. In 2007, Opus opened off-Broadway under the direction of our producing artistic director, Terry Nolan. The New York Times called it the must-see event of the season. New York audiences flocked to see it. On one evening, the holy trinity of American playwrights, Stephen Sondheim, Terrence McNally, and Christopher Durang were all in attendance. After seeing the show, Sondheim wrote to Hollinger, telling him that it was the best new play he has seen in years. Opus was nominated for many awards for Best New Play, Best Director, and Best Sound Design. Jörg Cousineau, longtime Arden collaborator and sound designer of Opus, won a Lortel for his work.
Well, I think what I understood is that Opus as a play really makes you listen much more. And so I think it's the credit goes to the writing that makes us so aware of how we hear.
Opus has made the kind of impact we hope for all of the new work we develop. For it to affect and touch audiences in other cities and communities as it has affected and touched our own. In 1999, the Arden began Arden Children's Theatre. Our work for kids is created by Philadelphia's finest artists, with all the care, attention, and resources we commit to our work for adults. Arden Children's Theatre productions have been nominated for 14 Barrymore Awards, competing neck and neck with the shows we create for our adult audience.
One of the things part of the Arden family experience is that it really does bring young children and sort of instill in them a love of theater that they've never had. I remember Jolene Ringel saying when we did Frog and Toad, she brought her goddaughters, who at that time were like, 4 and 2, I think? And she said, I was sitting there watching the show, and I watched, in the 2-year-old's eyes, I watched a love of theater be born as she watched the production. And I think that that's sort of what it's all about.
If you don't commit to doing good theater for kids and vis-a-vis, having their families come to see them, you can't expect to have an audience, in 15 years.
Keying off the excitement and connections that kids were making to the shows the Arden produced for them, Arden Kids Crew was born. Now, over 500 students take classes here at the Arden each season. The Arden's outreach efforts reach almost 1,800 students in the Philadelphia, Camden, and Ridley Park school districts each school year. The Arden's close partnership with Camden's Creative Arts High School allows us to mentor inner-city teens. The teens see 5 shows and are taught by 12 high-caliber theater professionals each school year.
We had actors that would come into the classrooms and prepare the students even more, so then when they went to see the show, they felt like their friends were actually acting.
Happy anniversary, Arden Theatre Company!
The Arden Professional Apprenticeship Program is one of the preeminent theater management programs in the country. 6 young professionals spend the season working in every aspect of management. We are enormously proud of the impact former apprentices make on the cultural institutions of this city and cities nationwide.
In addition to the skills that I'm going to take with me when I leave, and the ones that I've already learned, just meeting people who are like you never really leave the Arden, Arden never really leaves you. I really like that.
In the Arden's 20 seasons, we have produced 115 shows, 24 musicals, 17 plays for kids, and 28 world premieres. We have won 38 Barrymore Awards for excellence in theater. Since we arrived in Old City, over 1 million people have seen a show at the Arden Theatre Company. The connection between Arden audiences and artists excites us. As we look to the future, we look to deepen and broaden that connection. We will continue to tell great stories. We will continue to tell new stories. We will continue to celebrate Philadelphia's finest artists. And we will continue our strong commitment to kids and their families. In keeping with our mission, we will strive to arouse, provoke, illuminate, and inspire this greater Philadelphia community. By keeping these commitments strong, we know that together we will contribute to the vitality of the American theater. As we near the end of our 20th season, we salute all of the audience members, supporters, staff, and artists who continue to help us grow. Without your participation, we could not succeed. We look forward to our future together.